Well, hey, how y'all doing out there today? Listen, I hate to come to my tribe and talk about my personal matters, but being my personal life seems to be being thrown out here online by a couple of very weak and cowardly men. I tell y'all all the time to defend yourself, and social media is one way of doing it, but telling the truth is the best way of doing it. Now, you see in the description right here, there's an article from a man named Richard Harold Boyden. In his WordPress, claiming that I raped and beat his wife. And he's also claimed that I raped Page Four, that I assaulted her. He's claiming that I'm a homicidal maniac that threatened a man named Larry Rodriguez and his wife. He's a very sick individual, and I'm just going to give you a brief history on him. And then I'm going to tell you why these two men are attacking me and why it bothers me to get close to certain people. Because when you learn things about people, especially the ugly things in their life that they admit to you about, then they want to kill your name. They want to kill their history, the bad things that happen in their life. So being that these are both both of these men were sexually abused as young children and raped by a Catholic priest and their own father, they really hate me. So all of a sudden I become the rapist. All of a sudden I become the bad guy. And so here we go. Richard Boyden is a pretty sick individual. And like I said, from a small child, he was kept in a closet by his father named Yuri Zickler. Matter of fact, his real name is Richard Harold Zickler. He changed his name in the shame of what happened and being raped and molested by his father. Um, he claims service to the Marines, but he'll also tell you flat out that he has glaucoma. And then he'll tell you that his glaucoma was surgically corrected. Well, no branch of the military has ever taken anybody born with glaucoma, corrected or not. So that just proves the lie. But he also has no DD 214. He never served, y'all. And he uses it as well, like the other guy. He claims that he rode with bikers and that he dated Al Capone's daughter. And I see this behavior in men that were sexually abused as children. They had to find ways of being tough again because their manhood was stolen from them. And I'm sorry that their manhood was stolen from them, but I didn't do it. And I ain't going to be the one that suffers for their problems. So in saying that, with Boyden, it went from not being able to be a Marine, not being able to serve, really self-hating kind of person, to a point to where everything he's gotten involved into, he's turned to crap. He tried to get involved with AIM in the Lakota out west. They kicked him off the reservation for stealing their property. He bought a brand new truck with their charity money, and at the time that he was seeing Karen Sue, he would take all the goods that were donated, electronics and whatnot, and go to parking lots and sell them out of this new truck that he bought with the money. Also, in the article, he's claiming that I beat his wife and raped his wife, so now he's coming for me. Okay, well, first, Boyden, you just made a terroristic threat, or Zickler, whatever your name is. You just made a terroristic threat to me that you claim I do all the time. So you did it right here in your blog. You and Larry also did it on a radio show the other day, where Larry said if he hadn't have been has intestines and all operated on or whatever, they would have kicked my face in and kicked my ribs in. So he admitted that he's a violent man as well. So both of these men admit their violence and they admit their criminal thoughts and behavior. But you know, so what? Fine. A lot of men talk shit that can't back it up. But the thing with Boyden is he still loves my Karen Sue, and he doesn't like the fact that Karen and I were married. And I wanna explain something to all of y'all. I mean, and I want to get this completely straight with every single one of y'all. The only reason that Karen and I, and y'all can ask her, are separated right now is because I'm on a mission and I'm homeless. Things have gone bad. The home that Karen and I built at Bonnie Lee Farm was snatched out from us. The reason why Karen left Bonnie Lee Farm so many times was because she had a job once a month cleaning job, and she has a family that she loves very much. She is probably the best mother and grandmother that I've ever met. I applaud her for this. I support her for this. Anytime she's needed to go, whether I liked it or not, she was free to go, and she'll tell you this. I've never kidnapped her. I've never raped her. I've never held her hostage, as Page Forth and Richard Boyden claimed that I have. lots of things happen out there at the farm, but anytime, except for 2 times, um, that she left Bonnie Lee Farm, it was basically because, y'all, the energy there in the house, we were stuck in the house during the winter, and the energy there is unreal. You have 3 people that are very depressed and PTSD, and then you have Paige herself that sits in front of a TV, screams at it constantly all during the night till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. We were just a room away. She couldn't stand it, y'all. The whole thing started becoming kind of insane, and we both couldn't deal with it. And as soon as spring came, I went right back up to the hooch. As soon as April came, we had the Earth Day party, and then June we had a full moon party. And I was planning another party for the end of September for my brother Michael out in San Francisco. And that's the other thing. Before I came to Bonnie Lee Farm, nobody came there. I was the first one. But since then, it became a place of peace and place to go for medicinal medicine. So I really got tired of that and of the aspersions about what I did there or what happened there. But let's get back to Boyden. Not only did he rip off the Lakota, and he claims all this service to the military and being a combat veteran, which are all lies. This man was actually kicked out of McDonald's for staring at kids playing in the little balls at McDonald's, you know, little ball pit they got the kids can play in, while openly groping himself. He was rubbing his genitals. He only has 1 testicle. He was rubbing his 1 testicle while looking at children, and was kicked out of McDonald's. He's been kicked out of Denny's. He's been kicked out of restaurants right there with Karen Sue. And she, by the way, I'll just say this, Karen Sue's going to tell the whole truth on this, since this accusation of me raping her and beating her. She's going to come out with the truth, and she's going to tell how her time with Boyden was with a very sick man that wanted to beat her coochie with a belt buckle. He wanted to anally rape her. He wanted to tie her up. Now this is a man that hates sodomites and hates all this to women. There's also another lady out here, Mary Ward, that was involved in the Tony Anderson case. She'll tell you how, if you don't go along with his narcissistic behavior, that he turned around and attacked her. Also, he's sitting here trying to be the hero for his wife. Well, then why, Boyden, do you put up pictures of her daughter holding a stillborn baby and say that it's her fault and that your God of the Hebrews had vengeance on her and killed her granddaughter because you asked him to? You asked the God of the Hebrews to kill a baby. You asked the God of the Hebrews to kill John Trudell's family. This is the kind of man this Boyden fella is, y'all. And this is what he's done. It's all in his own blogs, by the way. All you got to do is go to this WordPress. And I hope that y'all do, just to see what a sick individual is and what the rape of a child can do to a man later on in life. Because his dad viciously raped him. And I'm sorry about that, but that's something you're supposed to overcome. So what does he do? He follows around my life on Facebook, my life on YouTube. He hates my guts because Karen and I, by the way, this is what I was getting at. Karen and I married each other in a private ceremony in the middle of a field. Both of us believe differently than most people. We believe in the earth. We believe in the mother. We don't believe in gods. We believe in the creator. But we also believe that we can make bonds between people. And we made a bond in the middle of a field one night. And we consummated that bond. It was the most beautiful night of my life. The most beautiful night of my life I shared with Karen Sue. We didn't want to be legally married because at the time that was not feasible. And I believe Ohio wants a good bit of money, and we don't believe in the system. So we committed to each other. But the only reason, as I said before, that we're separated right now, well, we're not separated. The only reason why we're not together is because I don't have a home to offer her, and her family needs her right now. Her family needs her more than I need her. And that's a hard thing for me to say because I need her very much and I love her very much. So that's why I'm even talking about this. But this Boyden fella, from the moment that he found out I was seeing Karen Sue, he started sending me text messages telling me that she was a witch and that she's gonna take my soul to hell, and that Aleister Crowley was under her bed laughing, and that all these weird things. And I'm like, hey, dude, I thought it was funny at first. And I kind of made light of it, but I never knew what a sick psychopath he really was. And although, yes, it is on a WordPress blog, and yes, he does an unheard radio show, and nobody even reads this blog, still, my wife has to look at this stuff constantly. Her family is constantly under attack. he does not leave it to just her and me. No, he attacks both her sons, her daughter, a dead grandbaby, her grandchildren that are living today. His claims of sending money and helping. I mean, here's his help, y'all. He went to Ohio and is a convicted stalker. He came up there with a gun. He was going to commit a murder-suicide after he had done wrenched her shoulder. She had ran from him in Missouri. He comes all the way up there, and then he claims that she came back and married him. None of this is even true. The truth is he abused her down in Missouri. She ran back home. He goes to Ohio to kill her. And on the way, he didn't take his gun from Missouri. This is why he was on a $100,000 bond and not allowed out. He bought a gun on the way. He was going to be a throwaway gun. He was going up there to kill her and probably kill himself or kill another guy he hates. Rusty hates every ex that's ever been with her. Every ex she's had has just been the devil or been Aleister Crowley possessed. So please read and listen here. If there are any psychologists out there or psychiatrists or even anybody in college and you're looking to write a thesis on paranoid schizophrenic narcissist, go look up Richard Harold Boyden. You have an encyclopedia of insanity and an obsession. I mean, this man is completely obsessed with me. He has over 500 blogs just about me in his little WordPress archives. He has all these different names: Bill Cosby, Bill Clinton, Aleister Crowley, all these lists, but he has 2 Bill Buntings and 1 William Richard Bunting. So I'm like the one thing on that's never leaves his mind or his thought process, and I don't like that. Now, here recently, he saw that I had an altercation with this Larry Rodriguez guy. Well, Larry Rodriguez guy is so mad at me because he too as well got all personal with me. He told me all his personal life. And then when he got mad at me, he knew that I knew everything about him. I didn't want to know that Catholic priest raped him when he was a child. I didn't want to know any of that. I don't want to know anybody's sexual abuse, y'all. I really don't, and I don't think anybody else does. But fine, hey, I'm a brother. I will listen, and I will listen with an open heart. But this is why they're trying to kill my name. I know all their dark secrets from their past, and that's them. That's their problem. As I said, most people that are abused sexually or physically or emotionally, they either stay in a shell and they ball up and they never come out, and that's a shame, or they overcome and they become better human beings. But these 2 men in particular just want to kill my name. They can't do anything else. They're very old men. They're not physically capable of dealing with me or finding me like the terroristic threats from Boyden, or stomping in my face and kicking my ribs. The reason why Paco didn't do that was because he can't. His legs are like that big around. If he'd have kicked me, it probably would have broke his leg. But it's easy for him to sit there and say what a small man I am and what a weak man I am. Yet, I mean, pretty much anybody's going to go down when you get hit in the jaw with a stick. And that's the other thing. Boyden calls me a pussy. And so did Rodriguez, because page 4, 5'2", 64-year-old woman beat me all in my face and gave me 2 black eyes and cracked my nose. Well, guess what? I guess I would have been a tough man if I'd have beat her back, huh? I guess I would have been a good Trump-supporting Republican strong man if I'd have beat a 64-year-old PTSD woman. No, I allowed her to take her frustration and her anger and her insanity out on my face. That's exactly what happened, and anybody can say what they want about it. She was there, and I was there, and she knows. As a matter of fact, she even speaks about it and says, hey, he kept saying, hit me. I wanted her to get it out of her system, but I didn't know it would turn violent, and I didn't know that she would call the police a couple times. And she put herself in jail. So whatever on all of this. The point is with this Boyden guy is the attacks have gotten to a point to where he is literally saying as a fact that I raped Karen, that I beat her, that I raped page 4, and beat her and kept those people hostage. These are all criminally slanderous remarks. So I'm going to throw this out to the tribe. And if anybody out there knows of a lawyer that can help me with this, I'm already going to turn it over to the National Lawyers Guild, but I think I have to go to Missouri to do some of this stuff. So if I have to go to Missouri and take care of this, I'm going to. It's no longer about me. It's about my wife. And Karen Sue Andrus is my wife. And we were wed and bonded to each other and committed to each other for life in something far more greater than a piece of paper. It's our word to each other, our commitment to each other, and we did it in front of our entity and in our way. And it was very magical, and it was very beautiful, and it was very spiritual. So he can't stand that. So just read this article and you see what's going on. And listen here. I know some of y'all are going to say, hey, Bill, we know better. Or, hey, Bill, you know, you're the farthest thing from a rapist or a killer or a violent man or whatever. And don't let this bother you. Well, I would just ask you to walk 5 seconds in my shoes. I would ask you to change your name for my name on these articles and tell me how you feel. How would you feel if your wife or your husband's grandchildren or grandbabies that didn't even live were reveled in and being said they were killed because the God of the Hebrews takes vengeance on righteous men like Richard Boyden? Read his blogs, y'all. See the sickness, and what child molestation causes. Keep your hands off children. This is why these Catholic priests need to be demonized and put in prison. There's why there needs to be action when children are molested or hurt, because in future when they come to life, when they become men or become grown adults, this will affect them all their lives, and they will turn out to be sick, cowardly individuals, maybe like Richard Boyden and Larry Rodriguez. So there you go. I don't know how to put this except for I'm tired of it. And where, yes, as a man, as a husband, as a father and a grandfather, I'd like to deal with this the old-fashioned way like we used to. But I think, you know, he claims he gets $3,300 from VA. Maybe he can afford a lawyer. But once again, that's a lie too, because VA don't give out $3,300 on Agent Orange claims. I just wish he would look at some of his lies and realize that some people do research. But you can't get in the military with glaucoma. You can't get VA unless you've been in the military. And anybody can join the